inches, one broke bone. Yeah. Both occasionally break the rules. Maintainer and defender, scars we don't show. Blood from the war still stuck in our soul. Truth in the glass for the nights we don't sleep. Warriors of whiskey for the brothers we keep. Warriors said whiskey. Steel and smoke don't test me. Warriors said whiskey. Built from grit, not pretty. Crack the bottle, lock it in, let's go.
What's up, Warrior fam? I'm Matt.
And I'm Hayden.
And this is Warrior and Whiskey Real Talk. Another episode, brother.
One, man. We're going to keep it going.
Yeah. What's a blast? It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
I love doing this. I feel like every time we learn something about each other too.
Oh, 100%.
Which is super cool.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure, man.
Yeah. And we're getting some people to reach out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're able to talk about some folks now and actually say names and use businesses and stuff, which is really cool because I never thought it was going to end up like this.
No,
at all. So
I think it's cool, man. Like, you know, we've mentioned before, we've had a lot of people reach out that we haven't heard from in years, years.
Yeah.
And that still is continuing. And I think that's fantastic. Just the fact that it not only is this filling kind of like a role in stuff that we want to do, we want to talk about.
Yeah.
It's fun to do, but I'm reconnecting with a lot of friends that, you know, we've kind of lost touch over the years. They separated from the military or in the civilian life. They, you know, went off, got married, had kids and started their own family, their little bubble.
Yep.
But they're seeing these things and they're reaching out and having conversations being like, dude, you have a podcast? And I'm like, yeah, this idiot. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got people reaching out too that I haven't talked to in, I mean, there was two buddies of mine from back home that I went to high school with. I haven't talked to in probably 2 decades. And they were like, you were the last person I thought that would start a podcast. So no, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
We're getting folks reaching out saying things like, you know, man, I really need an episode. Pick one that we have out there, you know. And that it just makes you feel good.
Yeah, dude.
Not only are we just having a good time doing it,
Mm-hmm.
but it is actually making a difference. It is actually reaching people.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, yeah,
I'm excited about this episode.
Oh, for sure. It is going to be a lot of fun, a whole lot of fun. So we already talked about what we're going to do today. Yeah. So we got a whiskey picked out that we're going to be able to talk about. And for whatever reason, this thing.
He lost it, guys.
I did. I lost it.
He lost it out there.
Yeah.
We're already off the rails.
Yep. I'm getting there.
If y'all expected anything less or more.
Yep. Hold on. Sorry about that.
No, that's what this is, man. We're just
here we go.
A couple dudes talking.
Here we go. All right. So we got a Jack Daniel's bottled and bond.
Yep.
So bottled and bond it's a legal standard that it was created in the act of during 1897, long ass time ago. That basically ensured that whiskeys were authentic and there was quality. Because I guess in that time there was a lot of fakes. There was a lot of folks making whiskey and it wasn't legit and it wasn't the way it should be.
They had a lot of different stuff that they were adding into it to make it look like whiskey, but it really wasn't.
It wasn't real whiskey. It wasn't pure. And it broke a lot of the rules that they had that would keep the integrity of the whiskey.
Yeah.
And so the Bottled and Bond Act in 1897, it created those laws that kept whiskey, you know, legit.
Yeah.
And just built on that integrity.
Just good for the consumer.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. It was about integrity in the market and allowing whiskey to last a long period of time. Right. And keeping it real, kind of like what our podcast is about. when it comes to the whiskey and what's being put out there.
Yeah.
Because there was a whole lot of complaints. People, in fact, it affected whiskey for sales for a long time.
Oh, I can assume.
Yeah, it affected whiskey sales for a long time. So we had this Jack Daniel's bottled in bond.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get a pour.
Yeah, buddy.
Since it's over there, you go ahead and start, my man.
I got it right here. I'm kind of excited about this. Jack Daniel's holds a very special place in my heart when it comes to whiskey.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the first that I ever had. And of course it's got that I don't know, it's like the American image.
Yes.
When you think
Yep.
classic America, Jack Daniel's as far as whiskey stands out a lot.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and it has that hearty kind of wooded notes to it too.
Yeah.
I like you, Jack Daniel's was the first whiskey I ever had.
Ooh.
So let's see what this is about.
Oh, I forgot to attempt the cork pop.
It's all right.
Cork pop.
It'll be all right. There you go, brother.
Thank
Throw
you.
that cork on there. Ooh, that's Jack Daniel's. All right.
Yes, sir.
It's got that wood to the nose. You can smell the smoky. So
Old Tennessee whiskey.
cheers, my man.
Cheers, man.
You can't get much better than that.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, team.
I just had like 7 high school flashbacks. Wow, that's really good.
Oh,
that
it's-
changed
it does.
in the sip.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the backside's got a lot of the
Wow.
oaky, but the front, because at first when I took a sip, I was like, that's not normal Jack Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
But the back end,
I got a lot of that oaky, smoky,
mhm,
100%.
yeah. The front end almost has a little bit of fruit to it.
Yeah, man, that's good.
Ooh, wow. That's a hell of a lot better than that white dog we tried. Wow. That shit was rough.
That
my
stuff,
man.
that was paint thinner.
It
Are
was. And so
Are you going to try the science experiment you talked about?
I am. I can't find my small barrels. So I'm just gonna have to order one. That they're all over the place. You can get them pretty easily.
So after that episode, we were talking about that white dog mash #1 junk that we drank. And he was like, I think I have a small barrel somewhere. I might dump that in there, let it soak through for a while,
Yeah.
do a little science experiment. Bill Nye
Yeah.
over here. And
I am not Bill Nye.
but I was like, yeah, dude, go for it. Dump that crap in there because
Yeah.
I'm not going to do anything with it except wash paint off my hands, maybe.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I mean, we'd probably have to let it sit for a couple of years, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, that's going to.
It's not going to be a couple months
it's
thing.
gonna
It's
go
going to
with you
be
for
at
a
least
while.
2 to 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll even put it in my phone so 3 years later we can, I can test it.
Yeah.
We probably won't be in the same area, but
gosh, no.
maybe it'll give us a reason to maybe get together. Or
Oh,
something.
dude, that'd be a hell
Like,
of an episode.
hey, we'll just make a road trip just to try some whiskey that we sort of made. I mean, but we aged. We didn't make.
aged it.
We aged it, right? In a barrel that, I'm gonna do some research on like what kinds of barrels that would be the best and go
Hell
from
yeah.
there. Because that was it was
rough.
different. It
It
was
was rough.
different. I actually had a couple friends of mine are like, "You're wild trying that shit," and I was like, "Well, yeah, we are kind of wild.
Yeah.
That tracks. That tracks.
It's definitely more of a novelty bottle, if anything.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't see too many people sitting around being like, "Oh, I've got this."
No.
popping a cork.
Yeah, no. That's why, like, I have it. I even took it off the bar just to make more room.
Yeah.
Because I did some bourbon shopping and buying over the past week or so.
Just
and so I got some bottles coming in that we're going to display. We'll talk about some of them. Some really premium, good bottles that are pretty hard to find.
Yeah, the fancy case behind Matt's
It's going to get filled up. I'm going to have to adjust and move some over here.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually going to have to, anything that's open, I'm just going to put down.
Yeah.
And then so open up space because
Yeah, you're running out of room.
I'm going to run out of space for a second time. So I'll have to adjust some things. But yeah, I kind of went haywire, but it's all right.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. It's a hobby. It's one of my hobbies. Just collect. So,
Mhm.
all right. Well, let's get into what we were going to talk about.
Yeah, brother.
I am super excited about this episode.
So
man,
am I.
because I think we're going to be able to talk about who we are two military vets,
Mhm.
both in different transitioning periods, but still starting to transition into the
Yeah.
civilian world. And we're going to be able to bring it all back to civilians. So those of you that don't have military service, you can finally start watching now and actually understand what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah. Here, as you read that, I got to take a piss already. So
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
You read off. And
Yep, I got you. All right, so this episode is going to be called Bottled and Bond and the Rules of the Range. Guns, grids, and gear integrity. So integrity is going to be a big thing that we talk about a lot of. And as you can see, we have Hayden and I's gear that we had worn and used, and both of us a little bit of both here. Both Hayden as a defender and me as an aircraft maintainer, and what we use in the military. And some of this stuff we actually use in the civilian sector too. So we're going to try to tie everything together, and we'll see how good we do that. But we're transitioning from our issued gear that we've been given, that we've been, the military has given us an issue to us and told us, this is your gear. This is what you're going to use to do your job, to our own gear, using like Hayden only having his own firearms, me only having my own tools that I have bought, using our safety gear, when we're on the range or when I'm working on a vehicle or whatever, and how important it is to ensure that your gear is checked out and safe and is integral, right?
Yeah.
Because for instance, if I'm up underneath of a car and I'm doing some hammering and my safety glasses are all screwed up and I can't see, that's not a good thing, but I can't just go to the tool crib that we go get tools from and just get another pair of safety glasses anymore. I've got to buy my own. I've got to find my own. I've got to inspect my own tools. We go to the range. We got to inspect our own firearms. We got to look at our own gear. We got to wear our own safety gear. And so it really does, kind of bring everything together that we've been talking about. And with this Jack Daniel's Bottled and Bond, it kind of brings the whole thing together, because the whole reason for the bottled and bond, the bonded bottles, was for the integrity of whiskey back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, because they lost their way. Well, we got to make sure we don't lose our way when we transition.
And everything that you're going to be using, you need to make sure that it has that integrity. It's up to par, that you can't have just something, that you've had for years and just willy-nilly using, and then you end up hurt or worse. Like you're talking about working on a car. If you've got a car jack and you're up underneath that thing and you haven't taken a look at it in a long time and that thing gives out.
Oh yeah.
Night.
We're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's a bad day for whoever's underneath that vehicle. Right. Or and we can even talk about, and I know we will, because you got two hunters here, talk about when it comes to gear and hunting.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this before the podcast. You had brought it up, making sure your gear is good to go before you start your hunt. Because if you find out your gear is all screwed up during the hunt, it's a little bit late, right? It's not, you're not in time.
Well, shit, if you just, maybe you don't have something that state requires for the hunt. Like some states require a certain amount of orange that you have to wear above the waist at all times. And if you don't have that and you're out there just kind of dicking around in the woods and you get stopped by the green pants, the game wardens.
Absolutely.
Now you're screwed. Bomb. There's a ticket, and probably going to take your rifle, your truck, and everything else.
Everything else, because game wardens can take your whole life if they want to.
And that's
literal.
Something as simple as making sure that you have everything you need. It's exactly what
I've heard of game wardens trying to take families away for poaching.
Man, that stuff's good.
I know. I might get through this whole this one and have a second pour depending on how long we go, because I think on this topic we're going to go for a couple minutes.
I could talk for a while.
I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
So for you as a first responder, what are your thoughts on transitioning from being a first responder, but you're not going to change that mentality of you?
No.
yourself, right? And having basically full access to all the gear that you need to do your job, to now no longer being a first responder, but still having that mentality and having that inside of you, and using those skills and that knowledge as you go through, your life, whether it's your hobbies like hunting and fishing, whether it's on the range, or whether it's with real estate, however it is.
So for me, I know gear was a really big one, right? You could see up here in our little decorative display, there's a battle belt there with some pouches and stuff. There's no longer a holster on it because the Air Force took that back. But everything else I personally bought. I wanted to make sure that while I was out doing my job, I had the tools that I wanted to make me the most effective person on duty that day, what I was used to, right? And now that I'm transitioning out, going to a civilian side, none of that's going to change, right?
No.
I'm going to find a holster for that belt, and I'm going to have that in my house for, in case of emergency, something goes completely wrong, and I end up having to, I don't know, go full apocalypse mode. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's good to be prepared, right?
Yes.
I don't think we're what we would call preppers, but I think we both are prepared for if something happens, even if it's
I wouldn't call myself a prepper, but I would say paranoid.
Prepared for the worst case scenario.
Yes.
Right.
I always used to tell people, I still use this saying, plan for the worst, hope for the best.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have a piece of equipment and never need it than need it and not have it.
Absolutely.
And
no, I'm the same way.
I think that goes especially so let's talk Wyoming, right? It's been brutally cold here recently.
Mm-hmm.
Today was kind of nice. It got up into the 40s.
Windy as shit.
It is windy.
This morning it was nice. When I went to the gym this morning, it was super nice. I was like, man, maybe I need to just run outside. I didn't. I had a different workout plan,
but like Minot was the same way. I had troops, and I would tell them hey, you need to have a winter survival kit in your car, because if your car breaks down and you're in the middle of nowhere and it's brutally cold, you're stuck in your car with no heat, no blankets, no water, no food, whatever, a multitude of things. You could be in serious trouble within a couple hours.
Yeah. For sure.
Freeze to death in your own car if you're not prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know my wife's car, in the back of it, she's got a couple little cubbies. She's got emergency blankets.
Mm-hmm.
She's got some candles, a first aid kit, a knife. She's got matches, a lighter. My dad taught me a trick where you save dryer lint, put it in a Ziploc bag. Mm-hmm. You can use that to start a fire.
I take dryer lint hunting or camping and hunting all the time to make a fire because it goes up like that.
Yep.
Very hot.
My dad, he's the one that taught me that.
Mm-hmm. My uncle taught me that.
Yep. Yeah. But, she's got that in her car because if something was to happen where she breaks down, God forbid the kids are with her and they're alone and I can't get to them right away, I want her to be able to take care of herself with very specific safety gear, stuff that she's going to need for that situation, that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I think transition to the civilian side for me, it's not going to be that much different. Like you said, I won't be able to go to supply and pull a new vest. I can't go pull new gloves or cold weather gear. I'm going to have to procure that, buy it myself, and then have that on, just a regular standby. Of course, I have a lot of stuff that the military has given me that they did take back when I would PCS or get
that we're allowed to keep.
Yeah, we're allowed to keep it. Once it touches your skin, basically, if you sweat in it or you bled in it,
they don't want that shit back.
It's yours forever. But there is a lot of stuff that I'm starting to find I'm going to have to start looking into and getting for myself for when we go, because going to Mississippi, it's going to be completely different. Instead of cold climate, we're going to hot climate. Right. Where we're going to live, there's not a whole lot of dangerous scenarios where you could break down and be completely alone. But if you don't have the appropriate stuff, you could be screwed. You could be in a really bad situation real fast. Yeah. So
something simple like, like you said, it's going to be a different climate. So something simple like mosquito spray.
Yeah.
For real. You don't want to get any, if you are broke down in the middle of the swamp in Mississippi somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, those mosquitoes are the size of dogs,
Oh,
some of them,
yeah.
that will carry your big ass off.
You swat them, they swat you back.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
you don't want to get bit and get some disease
Yep.
that mosquitoes, you know, carry, you know, or be stuck somewhere with because there's a lot of wildlife that they have down there that we don't have here.
Yeah.
A lot of snakes, spiders, those kinds of things. Just being prepared. But I think one of the big things that you were talking about too, you have a lot of gear.
Yeah.
But now, you know, if you go to Supply right now, or if I go to Supply right now and I go pick up some gear, we can feel pretty confident that it's you know, the integrity of it is going to be solid.
It's going to do the job.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be solid. It might not be the most comfortable, but it's going to do the trick. Well, out here, you know, in the rest of the world, it's not so easy.
No.
You know, there's a lot of fake stuff, like we talked about with the whiskey. There's a lot of, like, I mean, you can get online and buy, you know, vests.
Yeah.
You know, but they're not always gonna stop a bullet. A lot of them are fake.
You can a lot of the times, if you're ordering stuff online, if it's not from a reputable company,
Yes.
it's completely bootlegged. It's not going to do half of what they say they're claiming that it's going to do.
Yep.
And that's one thing that I'm personally nervous about, is buying stuff online specifically for like safety equipment.
Like you can't, stuff that you can't put your hands on actually and look at yourself and, you know, decide whether it is good to go, you know, to, you know, investigate it and inspect it yourself. Right. Investigate it. No, Matt, not investigate it. Inspect it. Hey, look, maintainer, right? Not the brightest bulb in the box here. As soon as I said investigate, I was like, "What?" I'm thinking of Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, I remember, man.
No, we're not Inspector Gadget. But inspect
Gadget.
the gear.
Yeah,
because no one else can inspect it for you. Like in the military, we have there's actually people that's their job is to inspect our gear. The supply folks, you know, people over in, I mean, you guys have in Defender World a whole unit, a whole section
specifically for that.
That's their job every day, is to inspect the gear that they use, that you guys go check out every day. So you know it's going to have good, solid integrity. It's going to be good to go. But you know, you go out to some mom and pop store, or like you said, especially online, where you can't see it, you can't look at it, you know, you can't inspect it. You know, you just don't know. Yeah, you just don't know. Which is again the exact reason why in 1897 they started the bottled and bond type whiskeys, because it was just the wild, wild west, literally, when it came to whiskey.
Market was flooded with just terrible product, stuff that was potentially probably hurting people. Because when I was doing some research on this topic earlier today, some of the chemicals and some of the things that these people were putting in the bourbon and whiskey back then was, man. One was like formaldehyde.
Yep.
To give it color. It's like,
yeah. So, you know, I did a little bit of reading too, and it's interesting because it was actually making people sick. I wasn't able to find out if anybody actually died or anything.
Oh, I bet.
But it was making people sick, and of course, back then the medical care was way different. You know, technology was so different. So you know, it was a matter of, I don't know if it was life and death or not. I would imagine people probably did.
Oh,
I don't have that information, but it was at least a matter of, like, you know, you were going to poison ultimately your friends, your family, whoever, if you got some of this, you know, bullshit whiskey. Yeah. You know, and then when you're talking about safety gear, you know, like I'm just going to give a good example here, you know, just a real world example. You see up front, I have a ratchet wrench right up there. You know, if that thing fails, no, I'm not going to die. However, I'm going to screw up myself, right? If that thing fails and it snaps and I'm putting a whole lot of weight, you know, 200 pounds of Shomo in it, right? Yeah. I'm going to bust up my hand. I'm going to bust up my knuckles because it failed.
Well, not only that, if it's not functioning properly, maybe that part you're fixing on that plane isn't actually fixed the way that it's supposed to be. And the next thing you know, that plane has real problems as it's coming to Earth at a very
100%.
fast rate of fucking speed.
Yeah, like especially when it comes to like torque wrenches and stuff like that. That's something I meant to get out there. I don't have that out there right now, but torque wrenches, like torque values and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Airplanes, vehicles, it's crucial.
Yes.
And when I would go check a torque wrench out or a tool out from the tool crib, I knew that it was inspected because those guys, that was their job. Every day was to inspect all the tools, make sure they were good to go, they were operating correctly, they didn't have any defects and all those things. Well, now when I go to my toolbox, one of my 4 roll around toolboxes.
you do have a lot of
I
tools.
got a lot of tools. Yeah. I'm a tinker guy. Like, in fact, I have 4 weed eaters out in my garage right now.
Why?
And people ask me why all the time.
Why?
And I've gotten them, all of them except for the one that I use actually to do weed eat for free. Picked them up on the, like, people throw them away.
Yeah.
And I fix them, soup them up a little bit, make them a little bit more, give them a little bit more power.
Yeah. A little more power.
And then I either give them away or just sell them for basically the cost that I put into it.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Because what else am I going to do on a weekend? Besides drink whiskey and bullshit with you.
Well, now, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Like, so
We're getting into his tinker time.
yeah. Maybe I'll just bring something in. Like I just
work on it
like,
while
yeah,
we're doing the podcast.
I don't think a whole ass weed eater is going to fit on the table, but maybe I can show my bachelorness. Have a weed eater motor just sitting right here, guts out everywhere,
Just leaking oil,
carburetor out,
Yeah.
Seals everywhere, grease just dripping off the table. Dexter coming by and slapping up some of the oil.
That'll be fun later.
Yeah, no, I don't know if we're going to go into all that. We'll see.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
But
No, I think talking gear, it reminds me of my first deployment.
I need a refill, brother.
I saw you look at me. That is good, man. That's real good.
Yeah.
But so my first deployment, we went to Iraq, and
Be careful.
we were a 13-man team coming out of Keesler Air Force Base. We went out to Fort Lewis, Washington for 2 months for training. And man, did we look like a hodgepodge crew of people. Some of us were in BDUs. Some of us were in ABUs. We had DCU, or the desert camo vest with a BDU helmet cover. Just
You guys look like a bunch of damn misfits.
100%, man. And we weren't the only ones. There were, 200 something, 300 something of us all in the training at the same time.
And you all look like shit.
We all look like shit.
Like, what the hell are these guys going to do for us?
Yeah. We're at Fort Lewis. So the Army, they obviously have a lot better equipment than we did at the time. They were looking at us like, what in the hell is going on?
The hell is this?
Go Air Force,
That's back in the day when they called us the chair force.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. They still do.
Well,
but
yeah, it's not quite as true as it was back then, but yes.
I remember, it always makes me think of those commercials, the Air Force commercials back in the day, where we would have a piece of equipment that, like, literally anywhere you can get it and it would work fine, but the Air Force had it for us and it would just break and be like, this isn't science fiction.
Yeah.
This is what we do every day.
Yes.
Like, that's right.
Yeah. Newsflash, guys, military grade only means it was built by the lowest bidder.
Yes.
It's not actually good quality.
Yes.
Like a lot of people think.
It got to the point on that. So that pre-deployment training, the Army and the Air Force ended up working together, and we went through their supply section and they issued us new vests, new plates, new rucksacks, everything. It was fantastic, except for a few minor things. So like my vest, funny story, had blood on it. And they were like, nah, it's been washed. It's good. I'm like, what the hell is this? All right. That's what they gave me, but there was a blood stain on it. And you can't just throw that thing in the washing machine because it'll break down the material and it ruins the integrity of that vest. So I just wore that for my deployment, It
worked for somebody.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
Well,
but, no, I just thought it was funny because that's what we went with. And then the Army ended up issuing us a bunch of stuff and got us right. And before we actually left and made like boots on ground in the desert, we were 100% synced up with what we needed.
Yeah.
Because of the Army.
Yeah. Yeah. I had the same type of situation when I was in Iraq, and I worked with the Army quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember showing up with my flat top M16.
Yeah.
And this guy, this Army, he was a Army Master Sergeant. He was like, what the hell are you going to do with that? Beat somebody with it? Like, it was just a billy club at this point, right? Yeah. So he took me to this Connex where they had all their, because at the time they were sending those of us that were just going to stay inside the wire on the base. Just flat top M16s as Air Force members, right? Like, oh, you're not going outside the wire. You'll be fine. Well, I was going outside the wire. So they gave me a fully loaded M4.
Yeah.
All,
give you
optics and everything, and then, just the night vision and all that stuff. And I was like, what? I haven't shot one of those. I had a civilian version, but he was like, can you shoot? I was like, yes, sir. He was like, first of all, don't call me sir, asshole. I work for a living. Secondly, then fine. Point it at the bad guy and pull the trigger until the bad guy stops moving.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. I was like, roger that.
If anything, if the optic's off, just walk those rounds in.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oop, I'm shooting left. Okay, go right.
Got it.
I'll get him eventually. Right. But yeah, I want to equate, we're both hunters.
Yes.
Big time.
Love it, dude.
Yes,
it's literally one of my biggest passions.
I have not been elk hunting out here yet.
Neither have I.
I really wanted to do it. I don't know if I have an opportunity next year or not. We'll see.
It's hard, man.
It is. Well, I was actually going to, Tommy, our buddy Tommy, was gonna take me, but that was when all sorts of things at work was going on, and we were both overwhelmed and just literally drowning in work. And he has a family, so anytime he wasn't at work or getting a phone call at 2 or 3 in the morning for some,
I was going to say, he has a very important and specific job. Like he's busy. He's
100%. Yeah. He's an investigator for the Air Force.
Yeah. And
he was in our unit when we were in the same unit together.
Yeah.
And but anyway, like we just didn't have time, and we had both gotten tags, but we never. I'm pretty sure he didn't go either, but I know I never went.
Yeah.
I was like, man, but the gear that we use to hunt is very similar to because I don't know about you, but what I'm hunting, I also take some tools in case my truck breaks down or four-wheeler, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously you're going to have some of the gear that you use as a first responder, obviously a firearm, a gun,
Yep.
Especially, I always have a sidearm with me.
Oh, same. Especially out here. I actually went out.
Hell yeah.
I bought a bear gun, Springfield XD 10mm.
Yeah.
And that's what I would carry that on my hip when I take my family hiking, or if I just went out into the woods, even when I went fishing, if I was going somewhere remote that there was a possibility of bears. Bears are probably one of the biggest fears I have, especially out here.
See, mine's snakes.
See, snakes scare me.
But snakes out here aren't as bad as like when I was in Louisiana.
Oh yeah, Mississippi.
Them dudes would mess you up.
They'll kill you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Copperheads and water moccasins, rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
No,
trust me. I know.
See, I grew up in the Blue Ridge Mountains where bears were just that was a way of life.
So we had bears too, but they were black bears, and you don't have to really worry about them.
Yeah, that's what we had, black bears. Now, brown bears are a little bit more, they're more
some
aggressive.
Of these areas.
What's that?
I said some of the areas around here.
Yeah.
There's grizzly.
Yes.
So I don't know if you've ever seen a little movie called The Edge.
Yes.
But when that dude gets eaten alive by the bear and you hear that with him screaming, dude,
I'm good.
Ruined me forever.
Yeah.
I was a kid when I watched that movie.
Hayden can't even hunt because he's looking for the bears. Like there's a big ass elk, 75 yards from him, and he's more worried about, oh shit, is there bears around? I don't want to get eaten by a damn bear.
I tell you what, my ass ain't gonna get chewed up, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
But no, I 100%, man, the gear you take with you when you're hunting, especially if you're going by yourself or even if it's just you and a buddy, you never know what's going to happen. And I hear so many sad or just like horror stories about a couple guys or one guy who goes out hunting and is ill prepared, ill equipped, and gets stranded somewhere and then just vanishes. And then
Mhm.
sometime later, they either find a body or they don't at all.
Yeah.
They're just gone forever.
Yep.
And I feel like preparing at least as much as you feasibly can, like you owe yourself that. You owe your friends that too. If you're going with in a group effort, kind of like what we do at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I owe it to the people on my left and on my right to make sure that my stuff is squared away.
Yep.
Especially if we're hunting, we're going out
Mm-hmm.
into the wilderness, and I don't want to be the person that gets injured. Now they got to lug my ass around because I didn't check my gear. I didn't check.
Just like airplane attendants say, put your mask on before you put your neighbor's mask on, your buddy's mask on. Yeah. Because you're no good if you're dead useless. Or you're passed out.
Yeah. Right? What do you do? Okay. Now he's just a big ass pile of meat.
Now you're somebody else's problem versus part of the solution.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a pile of sadness right there.
Well, he should have saved himself before he tried to mess around and help somebody else. Because now you're dead weight to somebody else, and you're more of a problem than you are as a help. Yeah. Yep.
No, you're 100% correct, man. I know a lot of the stuff that I bring on hunting trips, even fishing trips. I'm planning one coming up in April when I go on terminal leave.
Mm-hmm.
I have to drive my truck down to where we're moving to. I figured, well, I'm going to extend it by a couple days. I'm going to drive out to my buddy's house. He has a camp out there they hunt out of. And then during the springtime, they do fishing a lot during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go on a trout fishing trip out there to West Virginia.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I promise you, my truck will be loaded down with everything that I know I'm possibly going to need.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably some extra stuff I won't. But I'll feel
it's better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about preparation and knowing the gear you have, knowing that anything that happens, any situation I come into contact with, I'm prepared for.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you might not need 80% of the gear. Some people call that, you're overpacking or you're paranoid or you're worried. No. But I know what it's like to be in a bad situation without the shit I need.
I've been lost in the woods before, and it's scary.
Yes. Like I went hunting. This was, I don't know, probably at least a decade ago. And I went hunting with a buddy of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm usually that guy that has more than they need. I'm usually very prepared. I don't know why I wasn't, but we both forgot flashlights.
Oh, wow. That's
something simple like a flashlight.
That's a pretty big one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had one in my truck, but I didn't realize I didn't have a flashlight until we were 2 miles away from the truck because we had to park and then hoof it into where we were going to go hunting at. And he was.
Do we go back and get it?
He was on a pipeline. Well, we ended up. Yeah, we did. But
did you really?
We did. But he was on a pipe. But I only had one. There you go. Cork pop. He was hunting a pipeline. I was hunting a food plot, and we had both gotten. They were not too far from there. They're probably maybe 400 or 500 yards apart from each other.
Okay.
And I got to my spot and I got my backpack to grab a flashlight so I could look at. It was a box stand that I was hunting out of to make sure there wasn't spiders or snake or whatever, because I'm scared as shit of snakes. I hate snakes. Spiders I can squash. Snakes, no bueno. Don't like them.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through my backpack. Oh no. So, I text my buddy, of course, no service. Well, that's not going to work. So I was able to use my phone flashlight, but that's not the same.
It's better than nothing.
It is better than nothing. So we were planning like an all day hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan was to hunt all morning and about 12:30 to break about 11 miles away was a little diner we're going to go to, have some lunch, get some grub, chill out for a little bit, and go back out about 3 and then hunt until it was dark. So I was like, well, I've got my phone flashlight, and I was just trying to look in the, with this little peeny ass phone flashlight. Mm-hmm. And it's like I said, it's probably about 10 years ago. So they weren't as good as they are now. And I'm looking in the box stand because I am scared to death of snakes. Scared to death of snakes.
One of the podcasts, I'm going to bring a snake on.
I'm out. I will run right out that back door right there, and you won't see me. So you guys will be like, well, I guess Hayden's just going to be talking to himself for the next 30, 45 minutes. Yeah, like I've actually had friends put like fake snakes in my bed, and I'll scream like a little bitch.
Yeah.
I'll scream like a little girl.
I'm going to remember that.
Like a 12-year-old girl. So, but and I'm looking and I'm like, man, I hope I didn't miss anything. So I get in the box stand, whatever we hunt, everything was fine. And then, it gets to be, I can tell it's right around noontime. I hadn't seen much. I saw a little doe come through. I let her go. She wasn't that big. And that was really it. So we went back to the truck, and the plan was to meet around noon 30 at the truck, and we did. And I was like, hey, man, do you have a flashlight? He was like, no. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I was looking too. And he's like, do you? I was like, I got one in the truck.
Yeah.
But there's two of us.
Yeah.
Like, well, so we ended up having to drive a couple extra miles to go to like a country store gas station place to get a flashlight for him. Paid 60% more than what the damn thing was worth, just because we were planning on hunting until it got dark, until shooting hours were done. And then, when you're hiking back, 'cause there's a couple miles back to the truck from where we were hunting, you need a flashlight to see where the hell you're going. Mm-hmm. So we had to, and from that point forward, that is the one thing that I am like anal retentive about having is like, we had everything else. I had shit that I didn't even need.
Yeah.
The one thing I needed
didn't have it. Yeah.
And, and what that is preparation the night before. I have a specific backpack that I hunt with because I keep it in a sealed container. So like for scent, stuff like that. And I put the anti-scent spray on it, but I don't have it with all the rest of my clothes and stuff that I wear, like, deodorant or whatever.
I got a tip for you.
What you got?
This is what me and my dad used to do. So like with our hunting clothes and packs and stuff that we were going to bring with us, when we were packing them away, we put them in like a plastic tote. We didn't use a lot of that anti-scent stuff, scent killer stuff back then. But we would go out and cut pine branches and pine cones, and we would throw that into the bin with them and let it just kind of marinate in that smell. So if you want to try that.
It gets that natural nature.
Yep.
So my grandfather actually has talked to me about that. I used to do that. I probably should now. I just haven't recently. But no, that's a great tip. So for those of you that are hunters, if you don't do that, that's a wonderful tip. So thanks for that, for sure. But that's just one kind of a small example of if you're not prepared. Mm-hmm. We were talking, before the podcast, the fact that we both love hunting and like, laying your gear out, doing inventory the night before, not at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning when you wake up and you still have eye boogers in your eyes. You haven't had coffee. Your eyes are fuzzy. Your brain is not functioning properly. You're still trying to get your joints moving, especially now. It's rough getting out of bed.
Who are you telling, man? The last episode, I could barely even move because of my back. I'm feeling good now.
Yeah. He's much better. He's much better. So I was worried about you.
The old joints don't even work.
No, they don't. I was really worried. Like, when you had texted me before the last episode that we filmed, and you were like, man, I don't know if I'm going to get through this. And I was like, oh man, okay. I was more worried about you. I was like, podcast, we can figure something out. I was coming up with different plans. Like, just like have you come in digitally, but you sucked it up. Like
I'm used to it, man.
Like a warrior.
I've been dealing with it for a while. So.
I mean, that's what you said. I'm like, But I don't know about you, but when I get out of bed, I sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies when you pour milk on it. Snap, crackle, pop, baby.
Like you're walking on bubble wrap?
Yes, yeah. Pop, 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 pop. Like, oh, man, it takes me like, when I get up to go to the gym, I got to get up about 30, 45 minutes before I actually leave the house. Yeah. Because my body needs to be prepared dude. To do some physical activity. Otherwise, I'm afraid it's going to just snap in half, right? But having all that gear laid out, having it inspected, making sure you have batteries in your flashlight that are good, right? Having a flashlight is great, but if the batteries are shit and they die, that's no good.
Yeah, then you're screwed.
Make sure you have the right ammo that you need. You know, your firearms are clean, including
Mhm.
your sidearm. You know, like you said, you know, I always carry a sidearm too.
Same.
I either carry a 45 or a 10 mil. I have a
Yep.
10 mil as well. I actually have an XDM 10 mil.
Nice.
So yeah, I love that
It's
thing.
a good pistol.
Oh
Man.
no, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great because you're right. Like around here, you run into a bear.
Yep.
When I was down in Louisiana, you know, hogs, them sons of guns are
Oh, they'll gore you, bro.
brutal. They
Yep.
will screw you up. They
Mhm.
will attack you in a heartbeat because they run in packs. So it's not you don't have just one to deal with. You have like half a dozen to a dozen.
Yeah.
So you better be able to drop them quick.
And when they
and,
scramble, it's
yes.
like chaos.
Oh, it is. And
Yeah.
they make all sorts of hellacious noises.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So like if there's hogs out there, there's no deer around because them sons of guns are everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're just rooting shit up and, you know, causing all sorts of problems, you know, but all those things. Yeah. Dexter's talking to us.
Yeah.
You know, he sees a ground squirrel. That's what it
Probably.
is. He sees a ground squirrel. I don't know if you guys can hear him out behind or in the other room barking. But no, having all that gear together and inspected and good to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, double check and make sure everything works.
Yeah.
Making sure you have everything you need, all that stuff is super important, you know, even outside the military. So those skills, come here, boy. Yeah, he came over here a little bit earlier. You guys could see him, but yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah.
Big old baby. Come here, good boy.
Sounds like my kid's running through here with a wiffle ball bat, just beating stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys can see his tail wagging. He's got big ass tail, big ass black lab mix of I don't know some other shit, right? His mom was a rescue dog. He was born in a rescue shelter.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a big old baby.
He's a good pup.
But
no, that's one of the first things I do. So like before, obviously the first day of the hunt, I'll lay everything out, make sure I have it together. Right. Usually. I'm a little anal retentive with this. Like I'll roll my clothes up into a ball and then put them somewhere where they're not going to get any scent on them. Like if it's in the house, I have pets. I have 2 dogs.
Yep.
I'll move it to the garage and put it in a bag or a container. But I'll empty my pack out and make sure that everything that I have in my pack is what I need. And then I also think I'll put some stuff in here that I might not need. So like the extra flashlight batteries, I'll replace them in my flashlight.
Yep.
You never know.
Nope.
So I'll put
You're
an
right.
extra set.
I mean, batteries can go bad sometimes,
Yep.
or you just get a bad set of batteries.
But even so, like if I go on extended hunts where I'm hunting with a group of buddies,
Yeah.
Every day when we get back, either to the camp or to the house, wherever we're at, everybody does the same thing. Everybody starts pulling their bags apart, making sure that they replenish everything that they need, make sure that they didn't lose anything in the hunt, make sure that, you know, you got your food, your water source, your little lickies and chewies. If you have
snacks.
Snacks.
Lickies and chewies are snacks for those of you that are not military.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just making sure because I think we might, I don't know. Maybe we don't have anybody civilian right now that in that military background, but hopefully eventually we will.
Yeah.
We would love for you all to join. So anyway, I interrupted you like an asshole.
You're good, brother. So. I'm just piggybacking off the first sergeant.
Are you being a first sergeant?
What?
Are you being a first sergeant?
You got the joke.
Because in an earlier episode, you gave me shit for being a first sergeant, piggybacking.
That's why I just did that.
Yeah.
Magma.
Yeah.
There's a Dr. Evil quote for you.
Yes. You crack me up, man.
Oh my God. But no, that's everybody does the same thing at our camp is you strip obviously take clothes off, put them somewhere where they need to be, where they're not going to get scent on them. And then in your hunting pack, you make sure that's good to go. You double check your weapon. If it was raining that day, you give it a wipe down, make sure it's clean. Check the barrel if you fell, right? Because I've fallen in the woods before and then been skeptical about my rifle. Like, did I just push this thing into the dirt because I just fell off of a tree like 5 feet and hit hard, knocked the wind out of myself? And then make sure it's lubricated. Same thing, like you said earlier, make sure I got the rounds, right? Do I have all the rounds that I brought with me? If I didn't bang at anything, kill anything, or if I banged at stuff and missed it, done that before.
I think we all have, brother. Yeah.
But I think that's the number one thing that everybody does is make sure that is squared away before we do anything else, before supper is made, before you even crack that first beer, you know, like square that shit away so that you can just relax for the rest of the night. hang out for a couple hours, and then rack out. And then the next morning, you get up while you're knocking them crusties out of your eyes, sipping on your coffee. You ain't got to worry about it because you did it the night before.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So you were talking about a bunch of gear and everything. So first aid kit, curiosity. What do you put in a first aid kit when you're going hunting or fishing or camping or hiking or whatever, when you're out away from your vehicle, from no cell phone service?
Mhm.
What kind of stuff do you put in your first aid kit?
So number one thing that I always bring is at least one tourniquet.
Yep.
I always have it, at least one, right?
Mhm.
Me, myself, I'm kind of a hoarder for medical equipment. So over the years, I've compiled a bunch of them. So I usually have, I don't know, 2 or 3 in my kit. Obviously gauze, some sort of, I'll get like a twine or something, like if I have to sew myself up,
Okay.
like thread,
Like thread.
something I can
Yeah.
stitch myself if I need it. Like I'm not John
Yeah.
Rambo over here, but like I said, I
Well, in a pinch, right? If you're freaking bleeding profusely,
yeah,
you need to sew that shit up somehow, right?
Yes.
And obviously a needle.
and some
right?
of the places I hunt, you're walking a grade like this, and basically slinging your rifle on your back and doing a bear crawl up the side of it. You fall off of that, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah. You're in a bad shape.
Yep.
You're in bad shape.
I dehydrate real easy because I sweat a lot.
Mhm.
So I always make sure I have a couple of like
It's old
salt
man
bags
fat kid
or-
problem. I have the same problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. 100%.
Mississippi's gonna
Yep.
kill me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I sweat like a fat kid in a donut shop on keto diet.
I had a joke. I'm not going to say it because we're trying to keep it PG-13.
I've got one too. I almost threw it out there, but we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave that.
But no. So I try to have, what's that? Liquid IV.
Mhm.
I keep a couple of those in my pack. I try to make sure that I have usually like some small pack of beef jerky, something high protein with a little bit of sodium too. That'll help me out with that.
High calorie. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
I stay away from the protein bars. A lot of people bring protein bars. I can't eat that piece of cardboard. Tastes like chalk with a hint of peanut butter. Yeah.
No.
And then usually a compression bandage, something I can wrap myself up with if I need it. But realistically, I try to keep it simple. But if you go to my truck back at base camp or camp, I've got a combat lifesavers kit in the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I keep it underneath the back seat of my truck all the time, especially out here, like you said, because you get, stranded or whatever. BFE nowhere, and it's -10 degrees with the wind chill at -30, and there's snow blowing. Although we haven't had shit for snow this year, which we won't go into that.
Another thing I always make sure I have is you seen those life straws?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's this little piece of plastic tubing, and it's got a filter through it, so you can literally just open it up and you can drink directly out of a creek or a river.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
Because you can only pack in so much water.
Yeah,
right. You don't want 3 gallons of water on your back because
that's a lot of weight.
Yourself.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight. Yeah.
Even a camelback in some of the places I hunt is like that's kind of a lot. And then if you kill something, you got to hump all that out.
Yep.
So I carry those life straws. I'll make sure I usually have one of those on me too.
Yeah. That sounds pretty similar to what I do. I always have some antiseptic cream too.
Just rub some dirt in it.
I always do that, and then the alcohol wipes, because those are lightweight.
Yeah,
I throw those. I got those in a kit.
I've never done that before.
Yeah, I use the alcohol wipes. Just because, throw dirt on it, right? But infection can kill you. That's the number one thing that can kills people when you get injured is infection.
Yeah.
So, whatever wound you have, alcohol wipes, it's hard to carry a thing of alcohol with you or peroxide or something like that, because it does add weight and it's usually pretty decent size. So it's hard to pack, but just the wipes can help. But no, I definitely bring a tourniquet. Usually I have 2, especially if I'm with a buddy.
Yeah.
And something that I do is if I'm hunting with somebody, I look at what they brought.
Oh, I do too.
Because I'm thinking about, like, if I'm unconscious and they don't know where my stuff is and it's something urgent, like I'm bleeding out or something like that, I want them to have shit that I might need in a situation,
See, I usually tell my friends, so this goes back to like the military side for me, where we train together. some places require you to carry like your tourniquet. Everybody's tourniquet is in their bottom right,
Bottom right.
or
Yep.
bottom left, whatever the unit's
Yeah.
SOP is.
It was always bottom right for me, but yeah.
Same.
Yep.
But I tell my buddies like, hey, my tourniquet's in this pocket, my gauze are in this pocket, you know, like tell them and show them. So when they're showing up, because that's one thing that they train people on when you're in combat is like, you don't want to use your stuff on an injured individual. You want to use theirs.
Yep.
Because
your stuff is yours. Their stuff is theirs.
Yep. Because you fix them up, you got to move on with your fight, right?
Mhm.
You want to make sure that you still have your tourniquet. You still have your gauze. So I always tell my buddies where my stuff is. And that way, even if like it's a full panic mode, somebody has some sort of understanding. He said it's somewhere around here, we can find it,
Mhm.
and they can use my stuff. That way I'm not taken from them.
Yeah. Well, that's why specific units and just groups in the military, everybody does everything the same way.
Yeah.
They all have the same stuff. It's all regulated. They put it in the same places because that way you know where somebody else's shit is.
Yep.
You know, so if you and I are out in the middle wherever, right, in a combat situation or just whatever, and I get injured, you know where my stuff is because it's the same place that your stuff is. Even to the point of the pockets in the backpacks, because our backpacks are all the same typically. You know, so
there's
like
some nuances.
Our
there,
rucks, there's a little bit, but usually you'll put the stuff in the same place.
Yeah.
There's different versions of rucks, and you know, the newer kids will have some of the newer stuff, and us old guys will just have our old stuff.
Worst thing that can happen is, let's say that situation went down, right? You're down. I'm there to fix you, but I don't know where any of your shit is. And now I'm fumbling through your bag while we're losing precious seconds.
Yeah, 100%. You know,
you get
I'm bleeding out, or I'm not breathing, or whatever. You know,
that's a very quick timeline that you have to react.
Yeah, you don't have minutes. Sometimes it's a matter of seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And as simple as opening up a pouch in a backpack and not having what you need in it can make the difference in your buddy living or dying.
Yeah,
you know, and that's the same way. Like when you're out hunting. You know, when you're out fishing, when you're camping, when you're hiking, when you're off the beaten path and you don't have, 911 that you can just call that's going to be there in 5 or 10 minutes. It's, and even so, 5 or 10 minutes can be the difference.
Yeah.
So if you're right there, even if you're in the middle of town, car accident, right? Come across on a car accident. That's why I keep first aid kit with a tourniquet and all those stuff in my truck.
Same.
Just in case I come across a car accident or God forbid I'm in a, vehicle accident.
Yep.
It's having that gear in life is just as important as like in situations that we've been in our careers, in our military careers, in combat, or even in training. Because honestly, I've seen more serious injuries in training, than I have in combat, which is wild. But it's just true, A lot of times you'll see people that'll take a little bit, maybe some more risks, or they don't take it seriously, and so they're a little bit more haphazard about things,
or they just plain old don't know what they're doing,
or it's training, so they're new at it. They don't know what the hell they're doing, and they screw up and they hurt themselves. So it doesn't have to be in the middle of Iraq or China or somewhere. It can be just in a training environment where you still don't have cell phone service, or you're not allowed your cell phones.
Yeah.
Most training, you don't have your cell phone with you, and it's up to you and your buddies to have everything they need. So it does take a certain level of preparation.
Absolutely.
Even in life, just traveling, you're going on a 10, 12, 13, 14 hour, road trip. Most of the time you're going on a long road trip, you're going to be somewhere where maybe your cell phone doesn't work.
Yeah.
Maybe your battery dies. Maybe you're in the middle of BFE nowhere, where you can't just find a hospital real quick. Or if you call 911, if you have cell service, they tell you it's going to be 30 to 40 minutes. Well, that might mean the matter of life or death of, your spouse, one of your kids, yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important that even as we transition, don't forget all the lessons and all the values that we learned on having the right gear.
Yeah.
Whether it's hunting or fishing or camping or just traveling, being prepared, having that, gear integrity.
Yep.
It's something that I think we can equate to just life in general. right? You know, I was thinking about just day-to-day stuff too, even when you're not talking about life-threatening stuff, you know, dialing it back a little bit, being prepared in your job,
Mm-hmm.
you know, having the right tools in your job. Maybe a tool is, you know, your computer's operational, or your iPad battery is you know, is charged up, or you have pen and paper. I mean, that might sound simple, but how many times have you been in a situation where you just need to write something down real quick? You know, maybe your phone's in your truck or your phone battery died or whatever. You don't have a pen and paper, right? You don't have the gear you need
Mm-hmm.
to get whatever job's done. I just think it's super important to be
No,
prepared.
absolutely, man. Like, shoot, when I worked construction before the military, there were some job sites where they would literally, my uncle, he'd pull up and he'd drop me off and be like, "You good?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm trimming up today, you know, something easy." And then an hour and a half later, I realized there's a very specific tool that I need, and I don't have it because I left it in his truck. And then I have to call him and be like, "Hey, Unc, I need you to bring me this." And he'll be like, "Son of a bitch, you said you had everything." I'm like, "I don't. I can't finish the job without it." Be like, "All right, well, I'll see you in an hour."
Yeah,
And-
right. Because he's gone. He's doing something else. He's
Yeah,
on
he's
another
on another
job
job
or
site.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'll come out and he'll be like, "You know, you owe me an hour now, right?" I'm like, shit.
No, that's for sure. Or how frustrating is it when you're doing even something as simple as, like, let's just say doing an oil change in your garage or your driveway on your own vehicle, right? And you don't have whatever you need. You don't have the right socket to pull the drain plug.
Oh, and then you got to climb in.
Or you don't have the right size filter wrench.
Yep.
And, you know, you try to come up with some, you know, raggedy ass tool. I've done this. Redneck ingenuity, guys. Redneck ingenuity, you know, trying to get the damn filter off. Well, you don't put a filter on. For those of you that have done this kind of maintenance or understand vehicles at all, you know, when you're putting on an oil filter, you really only hand tighten it, basically. But the reason for that is the heat and the pressure of the oil pump and the heat of the engine. Things expand, the seals expand. So when you go take it off, you're not getting it off with your hand.
No.
Even if it's cool, you're just not. So you got to have a special filter wrench. You don't have the right size wrench, or your wrench is all messed up and it doesn't work. And now you have no oil in your vehicle because you already drained it, right? And you're in your garage and you're like, well, shit.
Yep.
You know, I need to change the oil filter before I can complete this task.
Yeah.
You know, have my oil changed and have it done right. So now you got to either use your spouse's vehicle, find somebody to take you because your vehicle's down for the count.
Yep.
You know, even if you're not on jacks and, you know, so you have a truck or something like we do that's lifted, you know, you can get underneath of it without it's on a lift or if it's on jacks, but you can't drive it because you don't have any oil in it.
You're screwed.
Yeah. So now, like, I'm calling you or, you know, I'm calling a buddy or whatever, and to go to AutoZone or Advanced Auto or wherever to get a damn filter wrench, you know, because I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the shit that I needed to get the task done.
Yep.
You know, and it's life lessons like that. I don't know how many times I've started a project, whether it's an oil change or a home repair or a honey-do list or whatever it is. And you go to Lowe's or Home Depot half a dozen times.
I was going to say, like,
you wasted half the day.
6 times. Yeah.
Yeah. And every time, I don't know if you're like me, but every time I go to Lowe's or Home Depot, I always pick up 3 or 4 things that I didn't really need.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, because I'm like, oh, that might be useful. Not for what I'm doing right now, but I don't know. Sometime. Who knows?
Do you remember Toys R Us?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that game they had on, I want to say it was like Nickelodeon, where they would give a kid like 2 minutes to run through the store.
Oh, yeah. Cart? Oh, what was the name of that? It was a show.
Yeah, it was a show.
I don't know what the name of it was, but yes, I do.
Why won't they do that for guys like you and me at like Sportsman's Warehouse, Cabela's, Lowe's, Home Depot?
Because no business in the world could afford that. Because I don't know about you, but I could drop a house note in less than 5 minutes in any of those places you talk about. Lowe's, Home Depot, Cabela's, Bass Pro, Scheels. Can you imagine going to Scheels with 5 minutes? Just 5 minutes.
Yeah, dude.
I would drop $50,000
easily. Easily. You give me 2 minutes in there, I'm gonna have everything I need for the next 4 seasons of hunting.
And more.
Yeah.
And more. And
Yeah.
probably 5 more guns
Yeah.
that you don't really need, but you never have enough guns.
I can't think of a gun I don't need.
Exactly. 100%. Yes. 100%. Yeah. The only gun I don't need is the one that I have.
Yeah. No, I like doubles.
Well, there you go. You never know. You never know. It's always good to have a throwaway gun too.
Yeah, you never know.
We won't go into what that's for, but oh man. Yeah. It's really interesting to think about the skills that we have learned that equate to what we're about to be.
Yeah.
Because I've wondered, all these things that I've learned, all these skills that I have learned in the military.
How is it translated?
How is it going to translate to the civilian world? And if you really think about it, it doesn't even take that long to think about it. It really does. It really does. It might not be the exact same things, right?
No.
It might not be ammo and firearms and, flak vests and helmets, but you take those same skills that you learn to inspect all those things, to have all those things. You think about, for instance, you going into real estate. There's certain things you're going to need when you're going to show a house.
Oh yeah.
It might not be things. It might be knowledge. It might be a background of the house, of
Research.
the owners, right?
Yeah.
Anything, probably want to have a ladder just in case somebody wants to look at something that's, out of reach, right? Or flashlights or whatever. You show up and show a house. You know nothing about the house. You're not prepared. You have nothing with you. You have no flashlights. You have no ladder. You might lose that sale.
Yeah.
Right. Or, for me doing home inspection, I have tools that I have to have that are operational. I show up to a home inspection that I drove 30 minutes to, and I'm like, well, shit, my flashlight batteries are dead.
Yeah.
I don't have any spare batteries. I don't have a spare flashlight.
Yeah. And then
now I got to drive 30 minutes.
And then how does that make you look? You know what I mean? For
100%.
your business. Like,
yeah. Cause I'm like, I have access
unreliable.
to the house, but I have my client coming in 3 hours to meet me so I can go over everything that I did. And I'm expected to be done. Well, now I got to take an hour because 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes another, especially out here. Pretty much everywhere I do is 30 minutes at least driving time.
Yeah.
Unless it happens to be in Cheyenne.
Yeah.
And I'm taking an hour away from my inspection, and I got to text or call my client. Well, I'm a little bit behind. That's unprofessional. So it doesn't even have to be about life saving or hunting or anything like that.
Yeah, just simple day-to-day stuff.
What you do day to day.
Yeah.
What you do day to day.
Look how our lives these days, this little guy, right? Your cell phone. That's your lifeline for any job that you have anywhere now. I don't care if you're working at Walmart or you're a high paid executive in some business firm.
Yep.
You need to have your cell phone. How many times have you left your house and you realize your phone is back at the house?
Yeah, because I'm not one of those guys that's attached to the phone. So I
Same.
left my work phone on, I think it was Thursday. I got it all the way to work.
I wouldn't say that on the air.
Well, it's fine. I came back and got it. Thank goodness I live on base and it was like a less than 5 minute drive.
I'm joking.
Right. Sorry, boss, if you're watching. I'm not perfect. Yeah. But it cost me a little bit of time. And if I didn't live on base, if I lived 25, 30 minutes away, it would cost me gas money. It would cost me way more time.
Yeah, but
maybe I missed a meeting. Maybe somebody that needed something wasn't able to get a hold of me because my damn work phone was sitting on my counter right there.
And that's the thing is like your job specifically as a first sergeant, right? You're driving somewhere, either you're going to work or you're going to a situation, right? You got something to deal with.
Yep.
You forget your phone, your work phone or your personal, doesn't matter.
Yeah, because I use both. There's a lot of times you've seen me.
I've seen you double.
I've seen me like, hey, yep, blah, 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 blah. Oh, hold on 1 second. Yes, sir. Yep. I got you. I'm working on that. I'll get you that information. Roger that. All right. Hey, I'm back, man. Okay. So can you give me some more detail? Like it's,
I'm on the line with them right now. Stand by.
Or I got one phone here and I'm texting on the other, Yeah. It's wild.
But sometimes. It takes you 10 minutes to get to your squadron. You realize you don't have it. That's another 5 minutes of you realizing you don't have the damn thing, and then 10-minute drive back to the house, and 10-minute drive back to the squadron or whatever's going on, and that's 30 minutes.
That's valuable time.
Minutes.
That's valuable time. And in the civilian sector, time is money, quite
100%.
literally,
Yeah.
And so, if you're working out there, in the civilian sector and you're 30 minutes behind already, well, that's 30 minutes longer. You're going to have to stay late. So that may mean that you miss your son's basketball, first 30 minutes of the basketball game, or your daughter's swim practice, or I don't know, whatever.
Dinner.
Or you didn't make dinner where you're able to finally sit down with the family and actually have a real conversation instead of always, running and gunning, going here, going there, whatever. It's the simple things that preparation can really make a difference in.
And knowing that your equipment, your gear, even the simplest of things is at full operational capability. The integrity is there.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah. Well, your gear. How about you? You're a good piece of gear, brother. Right?
What did he just call me?
We come on. I know you've heard that before.
Joking.
Right? You playing games over here.
I'm sorry. I'm feeling good. My back is all right.
You all moving.
I'm loosey-goosey, bro. I've been doing stretches. I got into the gym this morning.
That's good. Yeah, I got a real good workout today.
So did I.
Oh, man. Yeah. My shoulder, I'm going to have to go to the doctor. I tweaked my shoulder doing kettlebell workout the other day, and I was feeling it. I did chest and back, and I was feeling it today. I pushed through, but damn it, man. 44. I got a lot of miles on this old body. So, no, like as a person, right?
Yeah.
If you're not set up and prepared for your day, you stayed up too late playing video games or watching Netflix or whatever, you're running off for 3 or 4 hours of sleep and you have a crazy day to get, to tackle, or, I mean, as simple as, you got to have a good, headspace to be a family man, right? I mean, because we're both family men.
Yeah.
Most men out there, like our families that's what it's about. And if you're not operating at, 100%, your kids suffer, your spouse suffers.
Yeah, it sucks when
the job, it could even be as crazy as you lose your job.
Yeah.
And now your family doesn't have that income.
Well, I know one of my biggest issues. So like thinking of myself as a piece of equipment, right? Piece of gear.
Yeah.
I don't take care of myself. I don't get to sleep. I wake up tired. I go to work. Work's a hard day. I'm already tired to begin with. That means I'm in a shitty mood, right? For the day. And then I go through a hard day, and then you come home and all your family wants to do is hear about your day. They want to, my kids, whenever I come home from a long day like that, usually they're like, Daddy, what's going on? And I'm in no mood, but it's like, all right.
Yep. You owe it to them.
But yeah, suck it up. You got to suck it up, but it sucks too, because like I could have prevented that if I hadn't been out playing video games, or I hadn't been watching Netflix, or, maybe I just couldn't sleep that night, right?
Yep.
Whatever it is, like figure out that routine, figure out how to take care of yourself, just like you take care of your equipment, because you're more important than your equipment, because your equipment is just only plussing you up. So if you can't take care of yourself, the equipment is going to.
Well, what's required to make that equipment work? You.
Yes.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
So
Dexter wants to join the podcast.
Oh, okay. Let's put him on mic.
Do you have anything to say, bud? Nah, he ran away. That tracks. Yeah. So like I said, guys, we're real. I got a dog. He's going to come on a podcast once in a while.
Yeah,
it's okay. But no, let's get back to what you were talking about. In the military, there's a saying, I'm a good piece of gear, or you're a good piece of gear, right? And a lot of people will think, that's kind of dehumanizing or whatever. But you get past all that kind of that baggage that people try to bring to it.
Yeah.
You're the most important piece of gear, because of all this stuff out here, right? Whether it's a helmet, whether it's the pistol or a mallet, some handcuffs, a wrench.
Mm-hmm.
All those things are just sitting there doing absolutely nothing,
Mm-hmm.
including the gun folks. Guns don't just jump up and shoot things. Anyway,
What?
um, I had to get that in there.
No, you're
sorry.
good. I love it.
Uh,
Love it.
But it's worthless. Like literally,
Yeah.
all this stuff right now, as it is, are paperweights.
You could throw that helmet on me, that battle belt. You could throw a vest on me. You could do everything. But if I'm useless,
Yeah.
every bit of that equipment is useless too.
Yeah. Like we've talked about, both of us going to the gym today,
Mm-hmm.
Getting up, doing those things. You were telling me about taking care of your wife earlier.
Yeah.
She wasn't feeling great, taking care of the kids,
Yep.
or even as simple as just spending time with the kids.
Yep.
Those things are so important. And if you aren't prepared, you haven't set yourself up for that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the right gear to get through the day, to come home and still have energy left to give your family.
Yeah.
Then what is this life all about?
What's the purpose? Yeah.
Exactly.
What are we doing?
If you're not prepared for the day, for work, your job, whatever it is, and you come home so you were working twice as hard because you didn't have the shit you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have nothing left for your family. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're military, whether you're civilian. I don't care what you do out there. If you're not prepared for what you're going to go do, and you bring back a shell to your family, especially as a man, right? As a father, as a husband, what the hell are you doing out there?
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's ever a time I can think of that we don't talk about you, your wife, your kids, me, my son, my family back home, whatever. Like it's such a huge aspect. It's the most important thing of our lives.
Dude, it's literally the only thing I care about.
Exactly. Like
nowadays,
your whole plan for when you retire was built around your family.
Yeah.
Right. You wouldn't be going to Mississippi if you didn't have your family.
Mm-mm.
No, you wouldn't be thinking about all the things. You might not be even going into real estate. I don't know.
No,
maybe not. But your whole life is around your family.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case for all of us men out there. We're just doing this day-to-day bullshit.
Yeah. You get stuck in a rut.
Yes, for our families. So don't lose sight of the why that you spend so much time preparing your gear, that you spend so much time taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Taking care of yourself is not selfish. Everybody around you requires it, right?
One of my biggest fears is I am put in a situation where my family is relying on me and I can't physically or mentally deal with it.
That's scary.
That scares the shit out of me. Yeah, I think about it every day, brother. Every day.
You went deep there.
Well, you were digging deep too.
I
You
know.
got me thinking.
No. That's real shit right there. Because
it's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah, because they rely on us.
Yes.
Have
you seen them videos where it's like, the wife is at dinner and she's like, me living my best life, eating blah blah blah, and there's music playing in the background, and it just flips over to the husband. It's like the husband looking at every exit in the restaurant and where the kids are and where everything else is. It's like, dude, that's how I think most of the time.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that. I don't want to be put in that situation and not be able to operate.
Yeah.
Not be able to, take care of them.
Yeah. No, and it's more than just the simple providing the needs of your family. It's about being present, right? It's about Hayden pouring into your son and your daughter and your wife.
Yep.
My son's 19, almost 20. I was telling you about some things. He made some decisions, did some things recently. I had to help him out, but it wasn't just. It was a lot of there was a lot of financial help, but it was also a lot of real conversations
and a learning experience. For sure.
Yes, and learning experience.
And
right?
he's a smart kid, man. I don't think he's going to walk away from that the same man. Like he learned something
y- y-
100%. He's a good kid, man. I like your son.
It's
Big
interesting
time.
that you say that because I actually had a really good conversation with him today on the
Perfect.
phone.
Yeah, there you go.
He's back. He was actually getting ready for work.
Nice.
He was preparing his day to go to work. And we were talking, and he told me, and this really hit me hard. He was like, "Dad, I am so sorry that I cost you so much money, and that I wasn't able to do the things I needed to be a real adult."
Damn.
And I was like, "Bud, listen to me, man. I have told you this before.
Mhm.
As long as I'm alive, you will always have a place in my house.
Yeah.
And I will always make sure that you're taken care of. We need to talk about making better decisions, being more prepared, more sacrifices, like not taking a trip, when you don't have the money to do it, and all those things." However, the bottom line is he knew that no matter what he does, I'm always going to be there.
That's amazing.
But
yes.
I don't know about you, but my fear is that I'll leave this earth too quick.
Yeah.
So self-care, mentally,
Mhm.
emotionally, spiritually, and physically, is super important, especially for those of us with a family, with a wife or husband,
Mhm.
with kids, or even if you don't have kids, your parents.
Yeah.
My
Brothers,
parents,
sisters, cousins, doesn't matter.
I lost my dad 2013 to brain cancer, but I have a mom. Well, she's in wonderful health right now, which is a blessing, but she's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
Every year that I age, she ages.
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to be around to be able to take care of my mom because, man, she wiped my ass and dealt with all my bullshit growing up, right? And I also want to be around to see my son, get married, have kids,
Mhm.
be there when he makes stupid ass decisions, which
Yep.
seems to be a lot recently.
He's young, man. He's
Right.
young.
Yeah, he is, and I can't get too mad at him because I did way worse. I mean, I can't lie.
The
He's
stories
definitely
you've told
smarter than
me?
yes. Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah, yeah. I might share a couple of those, but just so that my mom doesn't, shit a brick if she does watch some of these. I'm not gonna share.
We should set up a YouTube where it's Warriors and Whiskey Real Talk after dark.
After hours.
Yeah, and then block all of our family members.
R-rated, right? We block the people we don't want to see, and we tell everybody like, "Hey, this is not something that you want to listen to or watch in the vehicle while you're
please
taking
don't.
kids to school."
Yeah.
So, but no, it's super important to prepare yourself,
Yeah.
which you are the number one piece of gear in
Mhm.
this life. And you are the number one thing that's going to be able to support your friends, your family, all that. Make the money, go to work,
Mhm.
make the difference, whatever that happens to be. And then all this gear that we're talking about, what's on the table and beyond, right, has to be ready to go in good working order.
Yep.
And have a good, integrity behind it so that you can be prepared for whatever life throws at you. Because I think we all know life throws some shit that you can't even dream up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that that's something that brings men together.
Yeah.
Is that we all view ourselves, and even society, even today, obviously, early 1900s and before, the men were the leaders and the primary, breadwinners of the family. As life has changed and technology and, finance have changed, it's changed a little bit, but at the end of the day though, we're still the leaders of our family.
You're good, man.
Right? Yep. Little bladder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But which is a weight that most of us carry that's hard to even wrap our minds around, wrap our thoughts around, is the weight that we carry to have to be prepared for all these situations like we were talking about and more. And having all that gear ready, having yourself ready mentally and emotionally, to be able to go to work for 8, 10, 12 hours and come home and still have enough gas in the tank to pour into your family, to support your spouse, to be there for your kids, to help them with their homework, to give them the guidance that they need to grow into young adults and later adults, to be on their own and do the same things that you did or you're doing, now, because we're not here forever. So preparing them for that is a huge weight for, especially I think men in general. Um, but I listen to you talk, and I love this because I'm not married and my son is an adult, but I hear you talk about your family, and I don't think we have conversations. You might go 5 minutes tops, but there's something in that conversation that you bring up your family every single time, and that's a great picture of how much your life is about them and not about you.
Well, the way I look at it is they didn't ask to be my kids. You know what I mean? My wife, yes, she said yes to the marriage.
Which makes me wonder how sane she is, but no, I love you, bro. Gene, you're a saint.
No, she's my everything. But my kids didn't ask,
Yeah.
They're my kids.
Yeah. They were born into it.
I owe them. I owe them everything that I have, everything that I am, everything that I can be. I owe them. I know growing up, that's what my dad did for me.
Yep.
So I want, if anything in this world, to be the type of father to them that he was to me. And that right there,
that's big stuff right there.
Those are big shoes to fill, but I'm going to do everything I can to make it happen. Yep. And with them kids, yeah, I've had conversations with friends before where I've told them, looked them straight in the eyes and said, if it came down to like you or my kids, I'm smoking you. Doesn't matter. Like hands down.
I hope you would.
Yeah. And I'd expect the same out of you.
Yeah. Like, no, 100%. Yeah. That's absolutely
There's no questions. And I'm not going to feel bad about it.
No.
I'm going to sleep.
I'm going to sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Sorry, but
yeah. No, I don't know if you guys saw, he was kind of looking at me, but when he was talking about his kids, his face lit up.
I love them.
I know. And that's something that I think is worth holding on to.
Oh, 100%.
And I think most of us have that, that have kids, that they're a part of you, and they're not even, they really are you. They're your whole reason for being. When you become a father or a mother, and that's your why.
Yep.
That's why you work so hard. That's why you prepare your gear. That's why you make sure you're taken care of so you can stick around. Taking care of yourself, doing all the things that you can stick around as long as possible to be there for your kids. Like I'm 44 years old and I don't know, I would be lost without my mom.
Yeah.
Because I am one of the biggest mama's boys that you've ever met. I promise. I love my mama. Especially after my dad passed, like that's all I have with my parents.
Yeah, well, I can see that.
And we are very blessed to have great parents, a good upbringing.
Yes.
And which brought over how we raise our family and how we treat our kids. Because I want to give them at least as good of a life as I had, if not better.
Yeah.
I want to be just as good, if not better, than my mom and dad. And that all kind of comes together with being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Being prepared.
One of my downfalls is I try to give my kids everything I never had. So they're spoiled rotten. And
do you really think that's a downfall though?
No, well, no. But it's a downfall for me in my wallet.
Fair. I'm the same way. I've showed out a little bit of money for my son recently.
Shit. Yeah. But no, and like you said, man, being prepared for it, right? So for me to be prepared to give my kids that life, I need to have a steady job, which the Air Force provided. I needed to make rank, which I was able to do. I needed to consistently progress in my career to make sure that happened. And now going into real estate, I need to buckle in, learn the job, make sure I have the equipment I need, make sure that equipment is working, whether it's knowledge or a ladder or whatever it is, for the house. You know, it's it's a little bit of a different work, but it is work, but it's good work because the goal that little goal that you have at the end of it, whether it's the same as what I'm talking about right now, providing for my kids, providing for my family, or providing for yourself, making that next decision in your career, making that next big leap into something you don't know about, making that next life changing adventure, you know, like I think that you just need to be able to buckle it down and yeah, just make sure you're prepared for it. Sorry, I got lost in myself there.
That's good stuff, man.
As I was saying that, I started thinking about all the shit that I've got to do. And I was like, oh, I could probably work on this a little bit.
Yeah, I think we all can. And it's daunting, you
Yeah.
know, and, you know, honestly, I think we're our own worst enemies when it comes to that.
Oh, 100%.
Because I don't know about you, but I question myself so much. You know, could I do more? Could I give more?
Yep.
Should I be more prepared? Should I be thinking about this or that right now? Do I think about later?
Mhm.
And all these things over and over and over again. You know, I'm my own worst enemy. I get in my own head,
Mhm.
and I put up roadblocks in my own damn way, as if life doesn't do that for us, right?
Yeah.
As if life doesn't give us all the shit, the speed bumps, the roadblocks, the walls, the brick ass walls that you have to bust through that take hours and days and sometimes
Mhm.
months or even years to get through, right? And we're putting our own blocks up.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's just as simple as get the hell out of your own head.
Yeah.
And focus on what really matters. Because 90% of the stuff that I know that I concern myself with doesn't really matter.
No.
It doesn't really matter.
Most of the time when I'm thinking about stuff like that, so I go back to my wife. I talk to her about these things and I unload on her. God bless her for listening to me when I'm doing that. And like this whole realty thing.
Yeah.
Like I just sat there and talked for like 2 hours one night. She was just like, yep, yep. And I knew it was like drinking from a fire hose. But after, you know, making the big leap and doing the skill bridge and doing what I'm doing now, fell in love with it, thoroughly enjoying it, learning a lot. And she was like, see, all that shit you were worried about meant nothing because it wasn't a problem. I'm like, yeah, well, I see that now. But what about this next thing?
She just figuratively backhanded you is what she did.
Pretty much.
Figuratively.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She gets me all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah. Man, this was a good one.
It's a good conversation, brother.
Yeah. I enjoyed these.
Yeah.
I really do. I think bringing everything back to just real life shit
Mm-hmm.
and talking about what we struggle with is what this is all about.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna wrap it up, man.
No, I'm good with it, man. 100%.
You know, we appreciate y'all. Listen to us.
Hope
Your
you enjoyed
support.
it.
The support means so much. You have no idea. The text messages, the comments, the shares, just the love. We really appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, share,
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate it. This
I
is
got
why
you,
there's
dude.
two of us. I knew there was one thing I was forgetting. Subscribe, Facebook, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon Music.
Mhm.
That's where we're at.
And
Get
don't
out
forget,
there.
leave some comments if you guys want something to say. You
Yeah,
wanna
for sure.
have a question or you have ideas for us for a topic, let us know.
Absolutely. So with that, we're going to sign off. Y'all have a wonderful week. We'll see you later.
Take care, y'all.